Hi, I'm Bill Lampton, often referred to by my clients as the speech coach for champions. I'm going to be your speech coach today because I'm going to share with you tips and strategies for the time when you are speaking for video production. Not long ago on the radio program I host, I was interviewing Laurie Thomas Ross, who's nationally known as an internet marketing expert. One of the things that Laurie said during our interview was that video production needs to be an important part of the package of our total marketing plan. Well, I've been doing video production on my own for probably 5 to 7 years now, with 50 of my videos on YouTube and a good number of them on my blog as well. One of those videos on YouTube about stage fright has had 50,000 views already, which tells you how popular that topic is. We're getting specifically to how we speak when we're going to do video production. The very first point I want to make is do not write out a script. Why? Because you don't want to sound like you're reciting or like you've memorized something. So you don't need a script. Instead, just write out on a piece of paper your key points that you want to make. Just a very brief keyword outline. Can you refer to that outline? I'm going to tell you a very easy way to do it that's not all that conspicuous. Write these notes on something about the size of a steno pad piece of paper. Write it in large type, print, and then just below the eye of the camera, you can tape that to your tripod. By taping it right there, just below the camera level, you can dart your eyes down and look at it occasionally without anybody, for the most part, really noticing what you're doing. All right, what if you have access to a teleprompter? I advise not using it. Why? Leave the teleprompter to the seasoned television broadcasters who can look at a teleprompter, can maintain great eye contact, can still sound very conversational. We're not trained to do that. All right, what about gestures? Can you gesture? Well, yes, because I like to think of any speech as just enlarged conversation with your audience. In my coaching with clients and when I do presentation skills seminars, I talk about gestures just flowing out of the natural feeling we're having at the time. We don't plan them and we don't can them. The one recommendation I give you about gestures is keep them narrow, because if you get too broad, clearly you've gone outside the scope of the camera. So keep them fairly close in. You really need to think about how much easier producing a video is than speaking to a live audience. My point here is you don't have to get it right the first time. Before a live audience, you've only got one shot. With video, you do it until you get it right. You can relax by knowing that everything doesn't have to be just right on the first run-through. As a seasoned professional who has produced many videos, I can tell you also there are advantages in doing second and third versions. Often when I have maybe a technical slip-up of some kind, I need to reshoot a video, I find that the second, the third, or even the fourth version can be improved. Relax. You don't have to get it right the first time. From the minute you sit down before the camera, even before the camera starts rolling, have a genuine, sincere smile. This shows that you're confident. It shows that you are excited about your topic. You want to share your thoughts with your audience. Pay particular attention to the first 60 seconds of your video. This needs to be zippy, upbeat, alert, alive. We are a society that's used to having a little control button in our hand where we can hit mute or we can switch to another channel. We make those decisions quickly. So if you haven't captured your audience's attention in the first 60 seconds, you won't. They will not still be there. Be zippy and upbeat to start with. What about your speed of speech? On video production, you need to talk more rapidly than you do ordinarily. Why? Because people can absorb, listen to, and understand what we're saying more rapidly than we can say it. This has been proven in many tests. We have what we call a listening gap. The listening gap is when people are at a very slow rate of speech or even a moderate rate of speech, and the person who's listening can be processing so much more. But since they don't have more to process, what happens? Their mind wanders. You don't want that to happen. I recommend that you watch some of your favorite news broadcasters on television. Notice how their pace is very, very rapid. This is what you want to achieve as well. You can vary it occasionally, but for the most part, aim for a good rapid pace. Once more, I encourage you to think of a video as simply having a conversation with your audience. Granted, this is an audience you don't see. Still, that audience is there. Converse with them just like you would one-on-one with anybody else. A final important suggestion is that after you have gone through these steps, you've produced your video, have someone else watch it with you. Don't go just on your judgment, because clearly you're not objective when you're watching the video you have produced. Get a professional colleague, a speech coach, a friend, or it can even be a relative, to watch your video and see if there's anything they think that you could improve. If so, be ready to use their constructive feedback and do it again. Personally, not too long ago, I had my wife look at a video I had produced, one about 10 minutes. She looked at it and said, "That's just not quite up to your production standard. You need to improve it. Do it again." I took her advice. I spent a couple of hours reproducing the video. I was very happy that I did. Now, if you will put into practice the tips and strategies that I have given about speaking for video production, you're going to be much more pleased with the product, and so will your viewers. One more point I'd like to mention is that in addition to the tips that I've given here, I encourage you to go to my website listed here below. Look up the page which says Speech Coaching, and on that page you'll find how I work with clients to assist them so that, as I put it, they can speak with poise, power, and persuasion. The other part to go to on my website is my books, CDs, etc. section. Go there and scroll down until you find this CD, which is titled How to Speak with Poise, Power, and Persuasion. Get your audience's attention, agreement, and action. Very moderately priced video, one that you will find exceptionally beneficial. Again, thanks very much for being with me. I'm Bill Lampton.